Hello friends, welcome to Great Kids Learning Class. This is where fun meets faith and learning never ends. Today we shall be looking at parts of a letter. Can you say that after me? Parts of a letter. All right. So we are learning to understand the parts of a letter. We are learning to write and mail a thought. We are also learning to understand Paul's letter to the churches. Are you ready? Okay, before we start, can someone tell me what letter writing is? Any idea? Okay, have you seen this before? What do they remind you of? Your guess is as good as mine. So, a letter is a written message addressed to someone or an organization. That's what a letter is. Have you written a letter before? All right. Any written message addressed to someone or an organization is a letter. Having known that, we want to look at letter writing. So letter writing is the art of composing written messages to people, expressing one's thoughts or making a request. So each time you write a letter, you are expressing your thoughts or you are making a request. It is usually done through postal services or any other means. All right? Let's continue. So what are the parts of a letter? Every letter must have a heading, and this heading involves your address and the date. Then we have what is called the salutation or greeting. So you use dear, it could be dear ma, or dear auntie, or dear daddy, okay? Then the body is the main message. After that, you have a closing part. Your letter could end with yours sincerely or yours faithfully or yours ever. And then a signature, that's for formal letters. All right. So let's look at the parts of a formal letter. For a formal letter, you have the first address, which is by the right-hand side. That's the writer's address. Okay, as you can see here. And that address must carry the date. Then you have the receiver's address by the left-hand side. Can you see that? Then you have the greeting, which is also called the salutation. Then the content, which is the body of the letter. All right? Can we also notice that these have been paragraphed? Okay, then you have yours faithfully, right? And then there is a signature and the person's name. All right, let's continue. Parts of an informal letter. An informal letter would only have one address. That's the writer's address, and it's usually at the right-hand side. Of course, the date will also be there. Then your salutation, which is your greeting. After that, the body of your letter, and then the closing. Right? In writing an informal letter, you don't necessarily have to put your full name because the person you're writing to already knows who you are. Let's move to section 2, parts or Paul's letter to the churches. Paul's letter to the churches. Have you known or heard about Saul before? Saul, who was also called Paul later, was an apostle. Okay? And what did he do? Initially, when his name was Saul, he was persecuting the Christians. And after he had an encounter, he spread the gospel of Christ across the world. Across the world as at that time. He did so well. Right? So he had an encounter with Christ on his way to Damascus, where a bright light shone and he became blind. He couldn't move forward. And he heard a voice telling him, "Who are you persecuting?" And he was surprised and he said, "Oh, who are you?" And the voice said, "Oh, I am Christ whom you persecuted." Okay? He repented though, but Ananias had to come and heal him of his blindness, and something like scales fell from his eyes, and after that he regained his sight and he continued to serve God faithfully. This can be seen in Acts chapter 9 verse 1 to 22. You can read a whole of Acts chapter 9. You get the full story. All right? Then Paul's letter to the churches in the New Testament are a collection of inspired epistles written to early Christian communities. So, after giving his life to Christ and he started preaching the gospel, he wrote to so many churches. Some of his books are the Romans, Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, and Thessalonians. So he wrote to all of these people, and we can see that in the New Testament. In most Bible, you see a letter from St. Paul to the Corinthians, a letter from St. Paul to the Romans. All right? These are his letters expressing his thoughts to the people. So he wrote to churches as well as to individuals. For the churches, there are the churches at Romans, at Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, Thessalonians. Then the individuals he wrote to are Timothy, Titus, and Philemon. Have you seen these names in your Bible? If you haven't, I need you to go check up your Bible because they are all there. All right. Now, do you think Paul communicated his thoughts to the churches? Of course he did. How would you communicate your thoughts or kindness to your friends? If you really love your friend, I need you to pick up your pen right now and your book and communicate your thoughts to them, either to mommy or daddy or any of your friends. Tell them how much you love them. And then if there's anyone who is doing something bad and you wish to correct, you can put that in a letter too. Okay? You can as well spread the gospel of Christ just like Paul did to people, and you can use letters to do that. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.